Hi everybody, it is Penny here on Friday, August the 26th. It's also day 10 of our 30 days of living on liquids at Raw Food Rehab. You know, I think I'm feeling so inspired being on liquids only for the last 10 days. Last Friday I did a Foodie Friday and I'm feeling the inspiration bubbling up again today. I'm going to make two juices for you today, since so many of us are doing either juice fasting or liquids only. Even if you're not, it's always a great idea to add more freshly pressed fruit and vegetable juices into your diet. One of our Raw Food Rehab members, Papa Joe, who's amazing, he is like one of our Raw Food Rehab angels, he sent me in the mail this book. It's fairly newly released, The Complete Idiot's Guide to Raw Food Detox by Chef Adam Graham, who is out of Florida. I think Adam's actually up in Michigan right now working at Camp Renora, if I remember reading that correctly. But Adam's a really cool cat. This book is going to go out today to one of you who chimes into the comments underneath this video. I'm going to do a drawing for this book next Friday. I'm just on fire with giveaways this week. I'm going to make out of this book the juice medley, which I'll show you the ingredients to in just a minute. And we're going to make the juice medley in my Breville juice fountain, so you can kind of get an idea of how easy it is to use the Breville juice fountain. I'm sure you all already know. A lot of you already own the Breville, but people write me juicer questions all the time, and so I just thought I'd show you at least what I'm using in my kitchen. The other recipe I'm going to make is one of my all-time favorites. I drank it all the time when I was on my 92-day juice feast, and I have started drinking it again during this month of liquids only, and it can be found. One of the places it can be found is in our Living on Liquids recipe supplement that's available to all the members of our Raw Results Vault. And I've talked about that in nearly every video, so I won't go into it again. We are accepting new members every day. The information in there is going to be available through the end of this year. Lots of recipes. The link is underneath this video if you're interested in coming in. But the recipe out of this supplement is the Green Gringo. And it's historically been one of my favorites, but I'm also hearing lots of feedback that it is one of those juices that people, when they make it, they're so surprised. It's a savory juice. It's not a sweet green juice. It is a savory juice, and it's almost like pico de gallo or salsa liquid in a glass. It's awesome. So how about we get into my Juicy Raw kitchen and see what we can create? Come on. Adam Graham's Juice Medley is one of those really simple, classic juice recipes that is, I think, very affordable. It calls for 4 stalks of celery, 2 carrots, a medium apple, 2 cups of cancer-fighting broccoli florets, and a medium clove of garlic. I had 2 smallish cloves, so I thought I would put them both in. I wanted to mention something about the broccoli. When I got my broccoli, it came with this big, long stalk. And some of you've probably seen my video on chopping broccoli. Well, if you haven't, I'll put a link underneath this video, because don't ever throw these away. I'll share a recipe with those of you who are not on liquids only. You'll have to check out the Choppin' Broccoli Foodie Friday episode. You're going to love it. I went ahead and doubled the recipe. Since I'm juice feasting, I really want to make sure that I'm getting enough juice. So I'm not exactly sure how much that is. You can see with the Breville that you're going to get a little bit of foam. Let me move that out of the way. You're going to get a little bit of foam. The next juice we're going to make, I'm going to use my Omega, so you can see the difference. But let's go ahead and pour this. What I like to do is I get a glass measuring cup, and I put my fine mesh strainer, and I always like to strain my juice. That just gets out any extra pulp that you don't want. Okay, with the double recipe, the Breville cranked out about 3.5 cups of juice. Now, depending on what juicer you have and how large your produce is, the amount that you actually get is going to vary. But I wanted to show you the pulp that I got with the Breville. It's surprisingly dry. People always talk about Breville juicers, you know, leave really wet pulp behind. And I mean, no, this isn't as dry as the Omega, which we're getting ready to use. And it's certainly not as dry as a Samson or a Green Star, but I'm kind of impressed. I really like that Breville juice fountain. I got it with the 20% off coupon at Bed Bath & Beyond. So it was like 120 something. And it's high horsepower. I love it, especially when I'm in a rush and I don't have time to cut up a bunch of produce. I can just cram it all in there. I'm a big fan of the Breville. So I'm going to pour this into a glass and we'll take a photo of it. Little taste test for the juice medley. That's just really smooth, very drinkable. The garlic gives it a really nice kick, but not a burn. So if you like just a little bit of spice to it, maybe you just want to put 1 small garlic clove. I think I would add more actually because I like it a little spicy. Penny approved the juice medley. Time to fire up the Omega juicer. I've had this great juicer for over 5 years. It has seen me through well over 100 days of juice feasting. This recipe actually came out of my 92-day juice feast when I had started kind of getting bored with juice and I was craving something Mexican. So this juice is kind of like juiced salsa. We've got 6 stalks of celery, 4 scallions, or 5, I think there's 5 scallions, 1 lime peeled, a pint, it's actually probably more than a pint, of, you can use cherry tomatoes. I found these really awesome little heirloom grape tomatoes at Whole Foods, a small bundle of cilantro, and 1 jalapeno. You can add more if you like. I take the seeds out. I've noticed that if I put the whole jalapeno in with the seeds, well, it makes my bathroom visits very frequent, I'll just say that. 2 little cloves of garlic, and if you like, to make it more salsa-ish, at the end you can blend in a little pinch of Himalayan sea salt, a little freshly cracked pepper, and a splash of Bragg's organic apple cider vinegar. I just realized that I left one of the most important ingredients out. The recipe calls for a handful of spinach, but since I'm really trying to get a lot of greens in, I'm going to add a couple of handfuls, maybe the equivalent of about 3 cups of fresh baby spinach. So I just wanted to interject that. With the spinach, the Green Gringo made about 3.5 cups of this luscious, savory green juice. So good. If you like Mexican food, if you like savory foods, and you're juicing, and you feel like you're kind of coming up against you're getting bored with what you're drinking, check the recipe out. I mean, everything in it is so good for you, including the apple cider vinegar. I mean, if you're just a total purist and you're like, can't do that, or you don't want to add the salt, that's fine too. It's still absolutely delicious. The combination, my mouth is watering. It's so good. So be sure to sign in the comments below. I'd love to hear any comments that you have. If you'd like to win a copy of the Raw Food Detox book by Adam Graham, just tell me your name, where you're from, and next Friday I will announce the winner in another video. So I hope you guys go get juicy this weekend. Have a great time. I love you. And I'll be back again soon with another video.